how's it going? Nick Shirley. Yes, this beautiful man right here is the new face of journalism. Now, if you're wondering what's happening with Nick Shirley, what's going on in Minnesota, here's the quick info for you. Basically, Minnesota is going through a fraud case due to Somalia propped up organizations. Not to mention that Somalia has been receiving said money from Minnesota and has been put into terrorist organizations. Just a lot of fraud going on. That's pretty much it. Just about $10 billion in fraud, which is absurd. Not to mention what's his name? Tim Walz was going to be our future president. So, hey, kind of dodged a bullet with that one, didn't we? And you're probably wondering, hey, what's going on with, Nick Shirley? He's doing an amazing job, reporting this, discovering this, massive fraud. He's actually going into the areas and, actually getting the info and research. The problem is they're calling him a racist, calling him a right-wing MAGA grifter, trying to prop up nothing. And it's like, no, it's literally fraud. They're actively showing you, hey, this is what we're doing. You're just stupid and naive to believe it. Here, let's take a look at some video. I know I gotta get my haircut. Like, I look a little bit chopped. Ignore the white tea. I was eating some wings. But no, anyway, like, you have to actually think about this, right? You have actual news organizations, celebrating and saying, hey, thank you for doing this work. It's great. Like, here.
Nick, when I was your age, I used to watch all the local news stations, and every local news operation had a guy, a roving reporter, who would go around and find waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah.
Are there local reporters like that in your area, and why do you think they weren't doing the work that you did?
I don't know.
The reason why they're not doing it is because the moment they do, right? And that's the problem. I'm gonna say this real quick. The problem with trying to report on situations like this, specifically regarding Minnesota, they'll call you racist. They call you a bigot. They just call you a racist because, what, you won't let us do fraud. You won't let us take your tax money. We send it to terrorists overseas in Somalia. And it's like, we're the bad guys because we want to point this out. The fuck is wrong with you?
They're scared of being called nowadays because it's Somalians that are committing this fraud. People are scared to be called Islamophobic,
Yeah, there you go.
racist, in which has nothing to do with what's going on, because fraud is fraud. It doesn't matter if it's a black person, white person, Asian person, Mexican. Fraud is fraud, and we work too hard simply just to be paying taxes and enabling fraud to be happening.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest thing. It's like, it doesn't matter what your race or ethnicity is. If you do a crime, you do the crime. And you're going to do the time. And if you don't do the time, it's going to catch up to you again in the future. And it's going to be fucking worse. But we got like Tim Walz down here. By the way, future vice president. What a major bullet we dodged.
Look, it's not law-abiding
Here,
citizens. If that were the case, there's a lot of white men should be holding a lot of white men accountable.
Yeah, we should hold you accountable because you allowed it.
For the crimes that they have committed. I think for the community to maybe educate their population, because I think what you're seeing here is there's secondary victims in this, that there's providers inside the community that are then victimizing the community themselves by signing them up, because when we're going to some of these people, they're like, I had no idea I was in this program. So I think it's asking us then, for every crime, which of course the majority being committed by white men, asking us to do more about that. I think it's crime in general. And I think the biggest thing on this is just making sure that we're educating the population. And again, this is 80 people or so that have been convicted in this, maybe some more in that.
It's a lot more. He's being, what's it called, investigated by Kash Patel and the FBI because he allowed this, because he was appropriating funds to these organizations.
Out of a broader ring, Medicaid fraud will stretch across all racial demographics, all ethnic.
And that's true. That's the thing. Like, fraud happens everywhere. But the problem is that if you specifically say, oh, a bunch of, black people committed, fraud, they're going to call you a racist for calling it out.
I think it's really important
my audio cut.
to note.
But no, the people who are calling out the fraudsters are going to be called racists because they're calling out the fraudsters. And the virtue singlers who are saying, you're racist for calling out the fraudsters who are frauding us, are going to be like, yeah, we support you. it's a parasitic, sociopathic behavior that leads us in the shithole.
Each community's got this in their own midst, but to blame them and say that they should have been responsible for stopping it.
You should have been responsible to stop this. You had all the jurisdiction to do it. You had all your police forces doing the police. And that's the thing where if you know a crime's happening as a police officer, you should do something about it. You know, under the, you know, the right jurisdictions, all the lists, right? All the, you know, checklists, right? But the thing is that in Nick Shirley's video, you actively see them like go to the place, say, "Hey, are y'all like checking this out? Y'all investigating this?" They don't do a damn thing. Because you know why? The city itself will not do anything about it. The jurisdiction at the top of the police chief is doing nothing to do. It's doing nothing to do anything about it. It's sad. It's sickening. It's a disappointment.
Hard reach. I think we continue to educate folks about why they shouldn't commit crimes. You would hope that it's being
Yeah, no shit. You shouldn't commit crimes. No fucking shit. I learned that at 4 years old.
taught both at home and at schools and in our society. But no, I think this idea that the Somali community's to blame for this because they didn't.
You're not to blame for this, but a majority of it is done by Somalis. There are some white people, there are some black people, there are some Mexicans, there's some Indian, but a majority of the population that's involved with this crime, or you know, are Somalians. You're sending money overseas to Somalia. It's fraud due to Somalians. They weren't calling all Somalians, you know, criminals or fraudsters. No. The investigation itself is clearly stating that Somalian people in Minnesota are committing fraud. And it's your city or your state. I don't know.
Do more. I think that's how we got into this. And that's, you know, again, I know we're not going to lose the whole plot here. All this work that's being done, Donald Trump brought this to the attention.
Oh my.
Like this is something brand new. This is not brand new, and it's been being worked on. But he made it.
But he's making you do something about it.
White hot, and
yeah, no shit. $10 billion, bro, and you're trying to. Jesus, man. It's play this, but I really don't care about the Island Boys and this, you know, piece of shit. I don't really care. Oh, it's been deleted. Wait, what? Wait, what?
He pays your bills. That's why you have it branded all over your fucking house. You have his merch. You don't even have your own merch. You're a fucking sellout. You're a bitch.
I own part of the company. I own part of the company. Sorry. Appreciate the money I made off you guys. It was cool. Yep, you guys worked for me. Nice fucking try, dumbass. Nice try.
Yeah. That's fucked.
Nobody fight. Nobody fight.
Oh, he's kicking.
McKinley.
Yo, watch the fur.
Little fucking wheeze. I want to skip for it. That pissed me off.